Introduce you to D.
Talking Dirt with Dirt, and I got Kid Calvin.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
No, dude, thanks for coming on. Definitely been a long
Sure.
time coming. I've said that to about a
Sure.
lot of people I've had on here, but I definitely mean that to a T when it comes to you.
Uh,
You were definitely one of the first on the list when we were writing out the list. So
well, I
definitely,
appreciate that, man.
well, dude, you've been around. You've been around the block, and you're one of the first names when I got into the scene down here. You're one of the first
Yeah.
names I heard, and one of the first people I actually got to meet. And right from the get go, nothing but respect and love.
Oh
And
yeah. Always.
I appreciate that. On both ends with keeping that real like that, because a lot of times people might be stuck up in cloud nine with their own ego or some shit like
Oh,
that.
for sure, for sure. Yeah,
So I definitely do appreciate that. The more humble, the better it is.
of course. Yeah, definitely.
So I gotta say, with 2020 finally being over and done with, how was it for you? How was COVID year?
2020 was interesting. It was amazing and horrible at the same time.
Yes.
It was good for me. I put out a lot of music. I was in a good spot mentally with where I was with my family, my love life, my job. Everything was just vibing right. Putting out a ton of music and just staying positive as I could possibly be. Just doing what I can be, like do. Just hanging out with my kids, working. I just like put one foot forward. Didn't try to think on it too much. Didn't try to dwell too much.
Yeah.
And just coped and just did it. It was 2020. I don't know. I'm
Right.
still processing it, honestly.
I
I
think
think
we
we'll all
all,
be processing. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely become, it's it's one of those things that like we all saw it coming, but we didn't. None of us really understood what it was going to entail when it got here.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
once it got here, it just kind of took us all kind of in a sense by surprise when it shouldn't have, because we saw what other countries were doing, and
Exactly. Yeah.
so it shouldn't have took us by surprise, but it did. And I'm happy to say that the majority of us are taking the proper steps, and being safe, and trying to help each other out in the process throughout all this. And that's it's kind of cool because talking dirt with dirt was kind of born from this bad pandemic.
Yep. Yep.
I wanted to always do something like this, but it never seemed like the right time or the right, I was going to draw the right audience or whatever. And with
Yeah.
COVID, it just kind of gave me that chance to like, all right, we need some content for all of us to keep our sanity
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
stay connected with everybody that we know so well from the hip hop community up here.
Yeah. Definitely.
And,
Definitely.
I just think it's a shame that we didn't have a local outlet sooner for this. And so I'm
For
going to try to
sure.
start that trend in my mind. And I don't mean any disrespect to anyone out there who is doing it before me, and I don't know of you. It's just I don't know of you doing it. So I'm sorry if I'm taking credit on that, because I'm not trying to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
No, I mean, there
but
wasn't that many before you. It was like just a couple folks here and there that were holding it down, and I think it needs to happen more within the scene. There's so much talent that there needs to be other outlets other than local shows or videos or whatever having these kind of things like people talking down. There's like Benny's Crib and
yeah,
Appleton Radio back in the day, and just like bringing shit like that back. I've been thinking about doing a radio station myself, um,
yeah.
on that as well, just to pump new music and just put a whole new vibe out there. And
Well,
I think it's needed for sure.
and see, that's what kind of blows my mind, that they're with there's so much being local content out there that's underground that does not touch the grace of the public nearly
Yeah.
as much as it should. We should have a local outlet, that plays music all the time, local
Yeah,
all
definitely.
the time. And
Yep.
I think it's a shame that we don't have that, even on mainstream radio. Uh,
Yeah.
because there's enough of us that we can, make our stuff clean enough to go on there. You know, how
Exactly.
else do we
Yeah.
have hip hop in the park and all those other things? You know, so
Yeah, definitely. We could do it for sure. Yeah. And it throws back to that like old like college radio vibe too. Like just,
exactly.
just it like you gotta add that musical element to just living life in general, and it has that hip hop vibe to life, and like the radio just playing that underground stuff that, you know, these aren't people pumping millions of dollars to get their shit made. They're just making music and, just trying
Yeah,
to do it and
yeah,
giving
and
them a highlight, you know?
and that's the thing too, because like a lot of us, like I know me particularly, anyways. Don't get me wrong. Would it be nice to have national fame or global fame or something like that? Yeah, of course. It's always going to be
Yeah.
nice. Anyone who says
Icing
no,
on the cake.
I'm
Yeah.
saying anyone who says no
Yeah.
is being unrealistic. Anyone would love to be famously known like that,
Yeah.
but in realistic terms, just to be locally loved is all I ever wanted. You know,
Same. Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
If my name gets out of state somehow, some way, which it has,
Yep.
I've talked with Marcel Black and had a interview with
Oh,
him.
hell yeah.
So
Yep.
I've already made it out of state somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Exactly. You're getting heard for sure.
and that's without even going on tour. So
Yep. Yeah.
but
Just doing it, man. Putting in the work, and then people
but
see that and pick it up. Yeah.
well, and that's the thing too. Like I don't want it to be about it, even though it's talking dirt with dirt. It's not about me. It's about the rest of us.
Yeah.
Because I think that like people like you are just, don't get me wrong when I say this, but I think that you're so talented, but a lot of times overlooked.
Yeah. I
And
mean, it
and it,
happens.
and it's like an injustice, and it's just like I will not stand by that.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, for sure.
So first and foremost, I gotta say, how did you come up with the name Kid Calvin? Where'd that come from?
Kid Calvin came from my love of Calvin and Hobbes. I grew up on Calvin and Hobbes since a little thing. Just always reading the comics and then started drawing them, outlining them, then started drawing them on my own, then got into lettering, and then that led into graffiti. So Calvin and Hobbes was always kind of that jumping point for me. It
Yeah,
also matched my vibe as a kid. I was real live. I was wild, off the wall. As an adult, I'm real chill now.
yeah,
A lot of weed smoke, but like, you know what I mean? So it's just a throwback to my humble beginnings, if you
yeah,
will. Um, but now that I got new sounds added to my Calvin name, that's why I add Calvino to the mix to give a little new flavor to it, but with still a little kick to, Calvin and Hobbes.
yeah.
And then the kid was just kind of like an old school, add to the thing without being little or baby or, whatever. It was just kind of like kid. Yeah, Kid Calvin, that works.
Right.
And I had like messed with other names too. Like J Dunks was one that came up before it turned into my production name. JD 180 was another one that got thrown to me by my homie Rich. And then that ended up being used for my other like weirder stuff. But
Yeah.
Key Calvin just vibed. It just kind of worked with what I was doing.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
definitely does. Like, there's my thing. A lot of people will hear the name without knowing the face, and
Yep.
you know, oh, once they see the face, oh, you're nothing what I imagined you'd be.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I heard the
I
name
get that.
Kid Calvin, you were
Yep.
exactly what I imagined you to be,
Yeah.
and it was just like, all right, this is cool because like there's no gimmicks here. It's straight
No,
up him, and I like it.
it's just me. Yeah.
And,
Just me doing me. Yeah.
and that's what I like. A lot of people they'll put up either a front or a wall, which
Yep.
to each his own. Everyone has a different background on why they do what they do.
For
Uh,
sure. For sure. Yeah.
but I just noticed with some people, yeah, they put up a mask and a front and like this is
Yeah.
me in the public form, and then this is me outside the public.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
yeah, no, that's not me. And that
No.
was clearly not you when I met you.
Definitely not. No.
And no, that's cool. That's why I liked about it. That's why I wanted to know the name, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I like that how that vibes, man.
Yeah. I
Um,
appreciate that. Yeah.
so going to your music now, like when did you like start taking this seriously? Like when did you buckle down and anchor down with the name Kid Calvin, start actually making songs and albums?
I think it came around like 2011, 2012, maybe early 2013. I was in a real dark place. My drinking was out of hand, just fucking bonkers wild. Just painting, being out all the night, just not in a good spot. And so I needed an outlet, a healthy outlet. And I was like, hip hop's always been in my life. I used to freestyle back in the day and do some little shit back when in middle school,
Yeah,
doing some
yeah,
fake gangster rap shit. I went by Indo G before I knew that was like a rapper.
right, right.
Um, and then so yeah, I started rapping around that time. Just did some shit in the basement or whatever, and I came up with the name and just kept going with it and just doing shit on my computer. I honestly had like a boombox going into my computer, like playing it and shit going back and forth, like real 90s style of like just I didn't even have a DOS system, no operating system, just kind of analog that shit and just kept going with it.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
then yeah, I did it for a long time and did shit without telling anybody. And then
Yeah.
I like told some homies around the way, like Dynamo P and Ill by Instinct, and they were like, "Yo, keep doing it, keep doing it." And so here I am, like still doing it.
That's cool, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, because funny thing is, like with my rap, you know, that's crazy because like a lot of us have similar stories or similar ways of how we got into it or whatnot. But
yeah,
yours and mine, like timeline wise, almost lines right up because it was like
yeah,
2012, 2013. I was in a bad spot in my life,
yep,
and it was different substances that I was having a bad time with. But needless to say, I was in a bad spot in my life. You know, the ex split and all this other crap and so
oh
on and
yeah,
so forth. And I literally hit virtually my rock bottom.
yep,
And yeah, hip hop was one of the things that helped brought me back because I was like, you know, the only way I can come to reality of is if I start talking about it, if I start singing about it, then I'm
exactly,
talking
yep,
about it, you know.
yep, yeah, for
So
sure. Yeah, and I
yeah,
used to sing for like metal bands and hardcore bands, and I
awesome.
was like, I don't want to deal with like other people trying to make music. I need to just do the shit myself. So I was like, hip hop. Like,
And
so
that's
that's
why
the way I went.
that's exactly what happened with me. It started with a
Yeah.
metal band, and yeah, we're doing like covers like ACDC and Metallica and
Okay.
stuff like
Yep.
that.
Word.
And yeah, no, freaking, it was same idea. They were on a different path than me, and so you know, it ended as quickly as it began, so to speak. We were together for
Yep.
about a year and a half, something like that, and
Gotcha.
yeah, and needless to say, like after that, I went converted straight over to hip hop because I didn't have to rely on no one but myself. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, to a certain degree, you know, if you don't know how to
Yeah.
make your own beats and all this other stuff, then yeah, you gotta venture out the box a little bit.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
But
Yeah.
you know, if you're determined enough and your wallet's deep enough, then you'll find a way.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
and if your wallet ain't deep enough, then find a job to make it deeper.
Yeah. Exactly. Figure out a way to do it, man. That's what it's all about.
Man, I was collecting fucking bottles. Shit,
Yep.
that's
That's
the
what I
fucking.
was doing at the beginning
I
there.
mean,
Yeah.
who am I kidding? I still am, but that's
Yeah.
beside the point.
Yep.
Um, so with all that you started and all that stuff, how many like albums you at now?
Honestly, I don't even know. I haven't kept track. I just put them out. I really don't know how many full lengths there are. I would consider my first full length probably Ebbs and Flows, which
Okay.
is the one that I produced myself on like as J Dunks. It's the first like full concept album. I think that was 2018. Um, but it's hard to remember. There's so many albums. There's so many beers and bongs ago that it's hard to remember that shit.
Oh yeah, like
You know.
believe me, I hear all that. Like yeah, I remember I dropped that album right when I bought that fucking nice bong from. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
because
Um.
you always
Yeah.
celebrate by buying yourself a new bong or a pipe,
Yeah.
something like that. And I know
Yeah.
what you're talking
Exactly.
about. I do the same thing.
Yep. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I don't know exactly. I think this year alone, 4 albums, 5 maybe, and
I
then
was
a
gonna
couple
say
EPs,
I've
something
seen the
like that.
name an awful lot.
Yeah.
Starting to get jealous.
Sorry. I'm just constantly creating. Like it's just the artist in me. It comes from like my painting background. I'm just constantly putting like doing the work. It's just what I do at my house. And it's like, all right, I'm just gonna put it out. And I'm just slowly working on projects. If I'm bored with one or I'm just not feeling one, I'll go to another one. And I have like a steady slew of projects in the works. Like,
Yeah.
Just slowly plugging away at the little bit of time I can find in between working and taking care of the kids.
Well,
So,
the thing is, like with me anyways, my music kind of started more about therapy, getting me through the bad shit.
Yeah.
And because of that, it kind of hindered me when life started going good for me.
Yeah.
Because I have a hard time incorporating that into my music because the way my voice is, the way my mentality is, it's all dark and gritty. But yet my life ain't dark and gritty no more.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, shit, how do I incorporate this? So I've been trying to do some exercises with like writing techniques and stuff to open my mind to go back to the imagination part. And I'm working on some ideas. I'm sure you saw that we dropped a thing called Dirt Fiction.
Yep.
And so that's a potential album idea that is going to be like make believe with having different collaborations and all this other stuff. So it's going to be just a whole bunch of like all this cool stuff that you wouldn't normally hear with me because I just don't normally go that route. So I'm trying to definitely try a different sandbox.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's kind of what I do. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. And that listening to your stuff, it's like, you've dabbled into so many different sandboxes. And you can tell that with your music. And it's just like, man, what hasn't this guy worked with that beat? Like, this is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So
I just like to explore. Yeah. Just like, I don't know. I'll get bored if I'm doing the same beat over and over again or the same type of sound.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But like, 2020, I started moving into a really happy place. Well, in 2019, I started moving into a really happy place, and same with 2020. So it was weird switching over my music from the therapy aspect to more of a happier place. But also just, I started like just talking about my past a lot more and just kind of like reminiscing. I started focusing more on my flow and my rhymes, scheme and patterns and stuff like that. So then it helped me like listen to music that wasn't what I would normally listen to, more happier music.
Yeah.
And then just trying to dabble with things and just evolve. Like all of my releases this year, they all sound different. They all have a different vibe to them.
No, they definitely do. And that's what I mean. Like you can tell you're dabbling in different sandboxes and different, feelings, elements, and so on. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's awesome because like I said, with me, I'm kind of hindered a little bit, and I'm trying to break that wall. That's why like everyone's heard like one or two songs here or there from me, but nothing too much lately as far as music wise, because I've actually just taken a back burner from it and like, all right, I need to go back to the drawing board and kind of like re-educate my brain on to like music in a different vibe than just necessarily depression and stuff like that, because I want to bring more to the table than just that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But going back to you, because I know this is talking dirt with dirt, but it is about you, not me.
Nah, it's all good. It's a conversation.
Geez, I know, but I could literally sit here and talk to the camera by myself all night, and like you'd be like, dude, just hang this fucking thing up.
It's all good. It's all good.
No, so with all the music that you've done, you've done several collaborations and all that stuff now, and I gotta ask, who's your favorite collab that you've worked with?
It's got to be Dynamo P. That's the homie since day one.
I didn't want to suggest it.
It just it's funny that we finally linked up this year, but we've known each other for ages. You know, he's always been the dude to help me out and school me on some ways. And then now we ended up working together. Um, and it just flowed naturally. We kind of have the same work ethic and how we do things. And we literally would just bust out verse after verse and just keep sending each other tracks back and forth. And it just started building and just, it was a natural, like organic flow to things. So it was super easy.
Nice.
Getting beats from Seven Quarters was really fun because it was like a different beat style for me. Very reminiscent of like early like company flow stuff, like the shit that I kind of grew up on. So it's getting that different aspect out of me. It's a whole different sound than Skywriters is.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they both so fun to work with though. Yeah.
I just literally did have a interview with Seven Quarters, and he actually had MoFlo over there.
Oh hell yeah!
During that. So it was like,
that's
cool.
the dude,
like,
man.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
This is awesome having you guys there too. So
yeah, hell yeah. MoFlo has been surprising me lately, man. I never heard of the kid until recently, and damn.
So I didn't even know nothing about MoFlo until he hopped on Talking Shit. When I did Talking Shit and he hopped on that, and I was like, oh, who the fuck is this? And Lee's like, MoFlo. I was like, I never heard of fucking MoFlo. Like,
yeah, me neither. Yeah.
I was like, this is good. This is fire. I like that. So,
no,
so that was cool. And I literally, right before I hopped on with you, just got done messaging with him and working out with him on scheduling an interview with him. So now I got one lined up with him. And
sick.
So yeah, man,
nice.
It just, I don't know, dude. This is just lined up perfect, one after another with all you guys. I feel like going down this like almost red carpet and meeting celebrity after celebrity with local celebs, dude. It's just kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
No, it really is. So I got to ask, I like to be the scoop guy, and like, got any like fresh like new scoop news for us? Like, you got anything coming out that no one knows about yet that I'm gonna get the first like dibs on or something like that? I mean, I can like cash app you some money if you say yes. Like,
no. I got some projects in the works. I got one called the Sourpuss EP that's super trappy beats, very like Travis Scott beats, Pop Smoke, shit like that. Just very beat and just rhyme heavy. Been listening to a lot of JID lately, JID. So I'm just gonna kind of let it out for 5 tracks and just let it bang. Me and P are talking to Lee to try to get a video made for Hella Mint off the Skywriters album. We got some dope ideas formulating, so hopefully that can happen soon.
Nice.
Other than that, I don't really have too much, really. I'm kind of just planning my next moves. Like I said, I'm planning this radio station thing, a radio show called Rogue Soul Radio.
Rogue Soul Radio?
Yeah. Nice. Not sure when that's going to hit, but we're working on it right now.
And what's the main premise of that going to be on that show?
It's just going to be vibing to music. There's going to be like conversations in between things. Just me and my girl, just like being goofballs, just listening to new music, old music, talking about stuff. We're both huge music nerds. Just to get music out there, honestly, just to get a new vibe out and just kind of do our thing and show what we're into and maybe get some spotlight on some other artists that maybe not a lot of people are listening to around here. And just kind of doing that thing. Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, you can guarantee that once you get that going, we'll be putting that up on Beyond the Mic for you, getting that out there.
Oh, for sure. Thanks, bro. And, appreciate.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we all got band together, so that way we stand out more.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. Oh, and I got the Curse Versus Volume 2 coming out either at the end of this month or next month. It's another batch of tracks from 7 Quarters that I got.
Oh, geez.
Another little EP.
How much did he pay you to keep saying his name? No, I just
He didn't really, man, but it's just kind of what I've been working on lately.
no, he is such a
You
good
know,
guy.
he is though.
I
Yeah.
only play because I just love giving people shit.
Oh hell yeah, yeah,
Hence the name Dirt.
yeah.
I love bringing dirt. So,
Hell yeah, nothing wrong with that.
yeah. So but yeah, no, he was very cool when I had that interview with him, and that's why I think I'm all set when I poke fun at him, and I know if
Yeah,
I know if there's any repercussions, he knows my messenger.
exactly. It's all lighthearted fun.
Right. And by
Yeah.
all means, it's me, so I'm expected to get hate mail. Um, so with that being said, like you done you said you did a little bit of like metal and all that stuff prior to and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like with that being said, like you had certain inspirations that got you into music in general, or artists that got you into music in general. That
Oh man, yeah, many over the years. Uh, my earliest memory of music was in '87. I was 6 years old on the back of the bus going to kindergarten. My brother showed me a 2 Live Crew tape that he stole from his older brother. And I listened to that shit on a Walkman as a kindergartner, and I was vibing to it. And that I remember that like really sticking with me. And then over the years, I just remember listening to tapes that we'd steal from older brothers or people would throw away. There'd be like NWA, Tim Dog, but then a lot of metal stuff like King Cobra, Iron Maiden, Dokken, like shit like that. So that was real young. Getting older, I started like Tribe Called Quest was a huge influence. My mom was hugely into music. We always had different music playing, but also growing up, I was born in '81, so MTV was always on in the house, just constantly on. Like before school, we'd be eating cereal, MTV we'd be playing. We'd be listening to like Where's the Scenario? Me, my mom, and sister would be like rapping to it before I'm going to catch the bus. So like honestly, that's my early memories. I know as a little baby, my dad was in a country western band, and I used to tour with him, me and my mom, when I was like toddler age. So I don't remember much of it, but we lived with him on a tour bus for a long time, for a couple of years at least. Yeah. So music's kind of always been ingrained in me. And I've been influenced from everything to like Van Morrison to Emperor and like Dark Throne and hip hop, underground shit, UGK, stuff like that. I'm kind of all over the place.
So definitely safe to say you were born into the industry.
I would say so. In some aspect, it was bound to happen.
Yeah. Well, it was
Yeah,
one of those things you were definitely going to love it or you're definitely going to hate it. It wasn't going to be halfway in between.
exactly. Yeah. Full on love it.
No, that's cool, man. Yeah, no, I remember like, my first, thing was like, I remember my dad, he always would play his record player. He had this Pioneer stereo system and he had these, like almost 4 feet tall speakers with subwoofers.
Hell yeah.
And he had the whole tower set up with the tape decks, the record player, everything.
Yeah.
He would always play something heavy on it, whether it was Metallica or he'd play some Jimi Hendrix or something like that.
Hell yeah.
That was my first like real introduction to music, was my dad playing that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was instantly hooked. Instantly, just, memorized by it. And was like, I want to be doing something with that or something like that or, whatever.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long, I was going to find my way one way or the other. And the funny thing is, like, definitely. I didn't actually get into music though until I was like 17, like as far as instrument wise.
Yep.
Or like trying to do something on my own as far as any type of like instrument / music. Yep. But yeah, I tried the trumpet back in high school and I did that for maybe like 3 months and I was like, I'm out.
Yep.
It just wasn't for me.
Yep.
and nothing against the class I was in, but they suck. So that didn't help
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Like, even if I was good, the rest of y'all suck. So
Yep.
why would I?
I gotcha.
And the thing is, they've been at it for a couple of years. I was just getting
Yeah.
into it. I was like, I'm just as good off as you guys are right now. So
Yeah.
I'm out. But
Oh yeah.
yeah. So did you like being growing into it and all that stuff? Did you play instruments at all? Like, do you play anything at all, or?
I tried playing instruments throughout my life. My mom was a guitarist. My dad was a guitarist and a bassist. Um, I tried a ukulele. I tried a piano. I tried viola. I can kind of play a harmonica. That's about it.
Yeah.
You know, I could pound the drum pads a little bit on an MPC, or 404 or whatever, but no, I'm not like musically trained. I wish I was. I've tried to learn piano so many times and it just doesn't compute with my brain.
Yeah.
It just gets so confusing to me. Like I kind of just like when I make music, it's just all on feeling alone. Like I don't want to have to think about like notes and where my fingers are and shit like that. It's just kind of like
Right.
it's gotta be a natural, just like coming out of me.
I definitely agree with that. Ironically, with like I was big in drumming.
Yeah,
Like when I got like 17 and all that stuff, I got my first drum kit and still have
nice.
it to this day actually.
Hell yeah.
And
Dope.
it was it wasn't like some big brand. It was Sound Percussion or Sound Precision,
Okay.
so something like
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
But it's over at. Funny thing is, the band I started with is still over at the drummer's house over there, and it's set
Yeah.
up in his living room, and I can go over anytime I want to and play it. And I left it set up for him because he ended up having to get rid of his drum kit.
Oh
So
yeah.
it was kind of like a thing, a gift for me to him to hang on to for now.
Dope.
I didn't have room for it where I was at the time,
Yeah.
and now that
Yep.
I do, I haven't got it back.
I
Um,
got you. Yeah.
I don't want to break his heart,
Yeah.
but drumming, like as much as I love drumming, that was that man's life, and
Yep.
so it's like when when you pass, I'll come get my drum kit back. Until
Yeah.
then, it'll stay in
Exactly.
your living room. All right.
Yeah. He's a foster dad right now. He's just
Yeah,
taking
yeah, pretty
care of him.
much.
Yeah.
He's definitely more like an uncle.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He went to school with my mom, and he knew my dad. So
Okay.
that's how
Gotcha.
much older he is than me.
Yep.
Um,
I
and
feel you.
yeah, so but like I said, it was cool to be in a band with him and a couple other guys. They were all
Yeah.
at the time in their mid 40s, you know,
Okay.
uh,
Yep.
mid 40s, and I was freaking just pushing 18.
Okay. Yeah. Just a
And
youngin.
yeah, but I had, as you can hear me, I had this deep of a voice at 18.
Yep.
So they were like, "Oh, dude, he's got a deep voice. We definitely get some metal out of him."
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was during rehearsal still because at the time I was smoking cigarettes. So during
Yeah.
rehearsal, we'd be practicing. I'd be living in a nightmare.
Oh man. Yep.
Worst idea you could possibly have, but I was
Oh
on.
yeah. I used to when I was screaming all the time. The only thing that hurt, that made my throat feel better, was drinking orange juice. So I'd go on stage with a gallon of OJ, just pounding that. I
Yeah.
know it's ruined me now. I can't drink the stuff very well. Like
Well,
it's super
especially
acidic and like
yeah, the
I probably
heartburn.
ruined my throat. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
But
I
it
hear
worked at
you.
the time. It was like, yeah, okay, this works.
Me, it's crazy, but it's milk.
Okay, yep.
I need something thick to
Yeah.
to coat it. It's like my
Tacoma,
throat.
yeah.
Yeah, I need something thick to coat my throat.
Yeah.
Another trick I learned also that much people think is weird. If you have a slightly scratchy throat before hopping on stage, take a
Yep.
sip of Pepto Bismol.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
It
It's that
coats your
like
throat
chalky
again.
material. Yeah, yeah.
It coats your throat again, and
Yeah, yeah.
it buys you enough time to get through the song or something like that.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Um,
Good to know.
I had a slightly scratchy throat when I did my first show,
Oh yeah?
and that was the trick I used, and it got me through. So
Hell yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't have even known, dude. You killed it at that. I remember that.
Well, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I had a slightly scratchy throat because I fucking busted my ass 2 days prior to rehearsal,
Oh no.
and
Going too hard in the rehearsals.
yeah, I worked it too hard, more or
Yep.
less, and so that's what I get for trying to be a perfectionist, So, but
It'll happen. Live and learn.
hey, I didn't want to drop the ball, and I don't think I did, so it paid off in my book. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
now, you talk about Dynamo P and all that stuff. Did you guys grow up together and all that?
We did grow up together. I think it was in 2012 or 13. I had only been living down here a few years. I went up and sat in a Appleton radio show when one of the casts they did was some of my like graph homies, like Learn and Rich and those guys.
Gotcha.
And Pete came in, and we sat down and we were just kind of shooting the shit. We had seen our stuff around and just talked and have been talking ever since then. We'd link up every so often at the legal wall or whatever, or just chatting. And then I eventually told him I was rapping too and showed him my shit. And he's like, yeah, dude, you got to stay with it. And he'd give me ideas and opinions and whatnot on what I should be doing and how I can make my sound better when I was just learning how to do everything on the operating system and whatnot. Yeah. So it just went from that. And we just always stayed in contact, linking up at rap night. I'd speak to him every time I'd go into Whole Foods and whatnot. And then now I've been working at Whole Foods for 2.5 years with him.
Nice.
So it's just kind of, yeah, he's been kind of an A1 since I came down to Portland.
Now, when you say Whole Foods, you're talking like Barber Foods on St. John?
No, like Whole Foods Market,
okay, the actual market. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm thinking factory wise, because I know I know Barber Foods, they put out some of the Whole Foods packaging and all that stuff for them.
Yeah. No, I'm at the actual store. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, freaking. I gotta say, growing up with my friends, a couple of us messed around with rap, and me, my brother, and my cousin, we kind of messed around with freestyling.
Yeah.
But nothing ever serious or anything like that. And,
yeah, exactly.
Every time I would hear my favorite song on or whatever, this is actually the distinct reason why I knew I was going to end up making it, or at least making it somewhere with music, to the point that I would have my own songs and so on and so forth. One day I was I think I was 16, and I was riding in the passenger seat with my high school sweetheart at the time. And it was Black Eyed Peas song. Yes, it was Black Eyed Peas, and the song was called Anxiety. And they had Papa Roach featuring on the chorus.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the perfect mix of rock and rap again. And I was
exactly.
I am a sucker for that shit. Give me it in a lethal injection and take me out with it, because that is the way I want to go. That's my all-time favorite type of blend of music. And anyways, I love that song so much. I knew almost every lyric to it. So every time they'd come on, I'd start, rapping to it and singing to it, so on and so forth. Well, I just remember this one day, she just turns over and looks at me. She goes, "John, can you stop so I can actually enjoy it?" And keep in mind, this is my high school sweetheart at the time. I should have known then it was going to fail, but
exactly.
That should have been the warning sign right there. But needless to say, that was one of those points in my life. I was I am going to prove you and every other freaking naysayer out there that doesn't think I can't do something with this, that I'm not talented enough. I'm going to prove something. And I did, but it's just,
exactly.
I couldn't believe that, and that always kind of like burned that impression in my head. Like every time I think I can't do something, I just think of that moment again in my
Yep.
head over and over again. And just like, nope,
Actually, yeah, I'm
yeah,
gonna
I'm gonna
kill
do it.
it.
I want
Yeah,
my own talk show host. Here we are talking dirt with dirt, and I got Kid Cali
exactly.
on.
Exactly. Life is good.
Life is good, right?
Yeah.
So now, with you doing all the music you've done several collaborations. You say Dynamo P is, your favorite collab thus far. You got some dream picks locally that you want to go for, and keep in mind, I'm not part of that equation because this is my show, so I can't be biased. But
I got you. Gotcha.
taking me out of the equation, Dynamo P out of the equation, and obviously the people who've already collabed with. Who would you like
Yeah.
to collab with?
Honestly, I'd like to do some more work with Il Murray. We've done some things here and there, but I don't think we've done an official song together. I've
Yeah.
produced a couple tracks for him and some of his other projects and whatnot, but it'd be cool to get on an actual track with him. Peace Out Pat is another dude. He's a homie. He's that dude. I've used a ton of his instrumentals. He's just an amazing, talented guy, and I'd love to work with him. And he's such a recluse, and that's kind of those are the people I gravitate towards, the underdogs, the recluses. So I got to get one with Dynamo P. Um, and then Shane Rise, who's the homie, who's fucking huge and amazing. And he's always been a great supporter since the beginning. And he's just amazing. And I'd love to get on some tracks with him, honestly.
Yeah.
Other than that, I just want to work with people. I know, like I said, I got into rap because I just didn't want to rely on people, but I've done so much by myself that it's kind of fun to do these collaborative projects now because it brings out a different part of me and just allows myself to grow and other artists to grow and just continue the scene like forward.
Yeah.
So I definitely I haven't hold any like I haven't been like, oh, I'm not going to work with that person. It's just like I'll work with anybody really, as long as you're not a scumbag.
So I'm already out of the equation.
No, you're good. You're good. As long as you're not a Trumper, an alt writer, we cool.
No, yeah, no. I just know that naturally by heart, I can be a scumbag if I need to be.
Well, there's good scumbags and bad scumbags, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I'm
what
the
I mean?
asshole that makes you smile about being an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
All
You got a
right.
good side to you, though.
Yeah.
Don't fool them.
Yeah, I'll just never show it though.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
So yeah, no, that's definitely a good roster to collab with, no doubt. I think that's kind of why, like, that's kind of been my transition right now is like I'm been like in strictly like collab mode in any and all forms, and that's why I've been doing these interviews and trying to get people's doing the hip hop on the drop, getting people's views out there, trying to give everyone that push, and do all that right now. Just kind of put myself on the sideline, because I've done enough to feel that it's like, okay, whatever comes along the way now will be natural, and I won't have to push for it. It'll just come naturally. The right opportunity will present itself, the right collab, whoever, and
Exactly.
everything will just fall in line. And if it doesn't, I'm not going to be heartbroken about it, because it's just one of those things. Like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a good way to think about it.
Well, I remember at my my first show there, I had featured on the flyer. I had featured a friend of mine that was going to be in my set, and and she had bailed on me like 3 hours prior to the show. And like with no good excuse or nothing like that. And I'm not going to name drop or anything like that. I'm not here to slander people, but it was just, needless to say, it was a very, very much a letdown and felt like a betrayal in a sense,
for sure,
for what we've been working on and what we had accomplished. And this was going to be her big
Yeah.
break because no one even knew who she was.
Yeah.
As far as our
Uh,
our area and our
yeah.
our hip hop community and all that stuff. Because
Yeah.
the only singing she'd done prior to that was mostly at her church.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So no one had really heard her outside of that. So it was just like I said, it was a missed opportunity, and it was it was unfortunately kind of the separation of our friendship from that point on. She she definitely took it a different way than the way I took it, and obviously two strong-headed, minds like that are gonna be stuck in their ways, and that's kind of where
Yeah.
those roads ended, and we strayed off. But it
Yeah.
presented a better opportunity, or I shouldn't say a better opportunity because she was just as good in her
Yeah.
own way.
Yeah.
It was definitely a new opportunity though, and
Yeah. For
that's
sure.
when I started collabing with Unique,
Yep.
and he filled that singing void of what I needed, and so on and
Yeah.
so forth. And so that this is kind of like it was cool. It sucked that it happened, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it had its pros and its cons.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So by that flower kind of dying, another other flower blossomed. So it's like, all right,
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah. Silver lining right there. Yeah. For
Yeah,
sure.
and and I hope the best for her too at this point.
Yeah.
I hope that she
For sure.
found her silver lining out of that, and
Yeah.
she's happy with herself and her life or whatnot. So
Yeah. Exactly.
but yeah, so that's cool. That's a good roster. I tried to collab a little bit with Ill,
Yep.
Murray there, and we had a couple potential ideas that we snowballed, and we definitely liked them. It just between schedules and all that stuff, stars weren't aligning at the time,
Yep.
and we just haven't picked up any traction since then. He's been working on his own stuff, and I've been
Yeah.
working on my own stuff. So respectfully, I think we'll both come together at the right time when the right time is,
Exactly.
and
Yep.
we'll make
Yeah.
it
For
happen.
sure.
But they say, no better time than the present, though, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So with everything that you've done, you've gone like the producing route and all that stuff. What do you choose, or I shouldn't say choose, but what do you prefer that you like more out of everything that you've done, out of like making the music, editing the music and all that stuff? What part of it do you enjoy the most, the creating of it or the writing of the lyrics, or?
It depends. It depends on my mood. Um, honestly, I really love putting the projects together, the final projects. Once all the songs are together and I'm working on the album art and just how I'm gonna roll it out and just coming up with ideas. I think I'm an idea person. I'm always creating ideas, so I think that is really fun to me. But then I get in moments where I'm in writing mode and I'll literally just write 5 songs in a few hours and just bang them out real quick and then not touch the pen for a month. Um, my writing's kind of sporadic like that. When it hits, it hits, and when it's not there, I'll just work on, either art or production, and
Yeah.
I'll just keep cycling through until some sort of writer's block breaks in that, and then it usually works that way. That's why I just have a lot going on, honestly.
And see, the thing is, like, uh, that's why we kind of did that Dirt Fiction thing when we put that out, was because
Yeah,
I'm not ready for it. But if I start pushing it and putting out a deadline, it'll push me to push myself to be ready for
yeah,
it and start
exactly.
doing it and getting
Yeah,
in that mindset again.
yeah,
Sometimes I need that natural competition to bring it out of me.
yep,
And if there's a deadline on it, that competition automatically comes out of me like, all right, I got to beat the clock.
yeah. Oh, for
The
sure.
clock's
Yeah,
working against me, so I got to beat the clock.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's what I've kind of done with Dirt Fiction, because Lee, when he dropped that, he didn't even ask me about dropping that.
Oh, damn.
He just dropped that.
Yep.
And he goes, I hope you don't mind, but I did this to, do this. And I hope it, is like that push. And, he's right. But it
Yeah.
was like, damn, dude. Like,
Okay. Yeah. I
what
guess
if
it's
I was,
okay.
what if I was saving that for another time,
Yeah, exactly.
Which here's the thing: if he didn't do it, I probably would have, and
Yeah,
who knows, man? He never saw the light of day. You know what I mean? So,
exactly. Things happen
respectfully
for a
so,
reason.
respectfully so as a friend, I love him for what he did, and now it's
For
like
sure.
really got the gears going in my head. Like, all right, time to get back to the drawing board and all that stuff. I've been
Yep.
working on a song
Okay.
with Fatal J too, but
Oh, yep. Dope.
uh he's kind of got his stuff more lined out than I got my stuff lined out, and
Yeah,
the only reason why is because I'm trying to make sure I'm not repetitive,
I
and
got you. Yeah.
I don't, because even though the subject matter of the song is repetitive to something I've done before,
Yep.
it's one of those things like, all right, I want to make sure it sounds fresh, unique, and not like I'm just, regurgitating a new
Yep.
formula of the same shit.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I feel you. Yeah.
and so yeah, that needless to say, that's why it's taken me a little bit longer to get the lyrics out and put them
Yep.
in the right format. I'm definitely venturing outside my normal sandbox
Yep.
with the way I'm spitting this one.
Yeah.
Um, Usually, I'm not so I would say free spirit with like cursing and stuff like that.
I
Uh,
gotcha.
but this
Yeah.
one, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go outside the sandbox and just go off the hinge a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Fatal
That
J's
sounds
kind of got
exciting.
that rhyme scheme that allows me to do that and blend with
Yep.
him.
Yep.
Even though it's not in my normal house box, or so to speak.
Yep.
So yeah, so it's kind of cool messing with that idea, and it's kind of opening my mind more so for the whole dirt fiction thing, because I really want to just go down the whole adventure of my imagination and not reality.
Hell yeah. Yep.
Um, I think
Hell yeah.
reality's been shitty enough that we can all take a break from it.
Definitely. Definitely. That's
um,
for sure.
so, with all that being said, I know that it's kind of hard to imagine, but you know, when we get back to a normal part of life where we're back out to performing out live and all this other stuff, you gotta like if you had a chance right now to book your next show, and you had a chance to put certain people on that bill. You had like the bill was allowing 4 people total, counting you, so that gives you 3 other people to be on the bill. Who would those 3 people be?
Oh shit. Anybody or just gotta be
Any,
locally?
well, anybody, yeah, anybody locally,
Okay.
not me.
I got you. Obviously Dynamo P would have to be on that list.
Yeah.
100%. He would be on there. I'd put Illbite Instinct on there.
Mm.
Um, for sure. Unique Unknown. And I would say Feldbane.
Feldbane, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah. That's another dude I forgot to shout out. We are working on a collabo album that I just completely blocked out.
Oh,
Me and
Feldbane.
Feldbane.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa, that's a
Yeah.
big scoop. Oh
Yeah.
man,
So
that's the real dirt here of the interview. Like,
yeah.
no offense about the history of your hip hop.
No, it's all
Get
good.
all that. Here's the real scoop of the show. No, just Feldbane though. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm
I
trying to
love
get
that
him more
guy.
focused. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So is it something that you guys been working on for a while, or like this is something sporadic, or how this come to be?
It's kind of sporadic. I approached him with the idea towards the end of last year,
Yeah.
maybe in November or whatever. We've been passing beats back and forth. I've already recorded most of my parts, and it's all in his court, minus a few things here and there.
Yeah.
But
Final
it's
touch up stuff.
yeah, exactly. But it's almost ready to go. I would say 70% done.
Nice.
but who knows when it'll actually release? Depends. Yeah.
It's cool though. It's cool though to know that something is being done because
Yes.
that will definitely be a very cool mixture having you and him on that.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I,
He's the bro. We've been doing stuff for a while. He used to hang out here back in the day with another dude who went by Trolls later on. Um, we had a little sauna session in here in my little Hobbit hole studio. It's a real small closet. It'd be hella hot in the summertime, and we'd all just be passing blunts back and forth, freestyling a bunch. Um, I think Felbane's super underrated, um, and I'd like it'd be
oh
cool
no
to have
doubt.
him shine down more things like that and be a little more focused with his output.
No, he
Yeah,
and I mean that no disrespect to him, but he is so underrated.
yeah,
And it's a shame, and that's why, like when we started the Who Is episodes, that's
yep,
why we thought he was a perfect number one for the
yeah. It
perfect
was perfect.
episode.
Yeah,
No, he was like, all right, if we're starting anyone, we're starting with Velvet,
yeah, yeah.
and
Exactly. Spot
um,
on. Yeah.
like I just because like especially with the freestyling that one of the best.
Oh yeah, hands
You
down.
know,
Yeah,
like I don't take any offense to this to anybody. Like the best in my book locally is
yeah,
Rigatoni. And I may be a little personally biased because we've been friends for a while, but he is like one, Rigatoni. And if I had to do number two, it's probably going to be Felbane.
yeah.
Friggin',
Definitely. Yeah,
if I'm looking at freestylist,
yeah,
Felbane is definitely a good guy, good hearted guy.
for
Hung out with him
sure.
several times now, and
Yeah,
just very, very well rounded guy that just always
yeah,
seems to just it doesn't get enough justice for what he does.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Best way to sum it up, he
yeah,
does not get enough justice for what he does.
yeah,
And I just want you said the shout out, but I want to give a shout out to the Felbane.
yeah.
Felbane,
Oh yeah.
you are getting a Talking Dirt with Dirt interview.
Yes.
Even though we did a Who Is with you, you're going to get your Talking Dirt with Dirt interview.
Definitely needs one. Yes.
Um, the thing is, the Who Is episodes,
Yep.
those kind of evolved into this.
Okay, I gotcha. Yep.
We still will probably do some more of the Who Is, but
Yep.
the way we did those and the way how long it took and to put it all together and deliver it, it was worth the work as far as the whole presentation was all said and done.
Yep.
But we found also that like just having this conversation, this one-on-one conversation, we can apply that same amount of information and viewers are going to be more tuned to it because it's happening present.
Yep.
It
Definitely.
looks like it's
Yeah.
a live conversation and we're communicating present and not past
Exactly.
tense and cut shots and so on and so forth.
Yep. For sure.
um so that's why we evolved it and we called it something different because we didn't want to if people goes, oh well, we saw the first couple Who Is and we didn't like the way that was formatted, so we're not going to watch
Yeah.
this.
I gotcha.
So we kind of just left it with the two Who Is episodes was literally Felbane and Treelock, and
Yep.
they're in their own Mount Rushmore of that because no one else is going to have that. I don't
That
think.
kind of fits. Yeah.
It, we may do more later on. We're not 100% sure. Me and Lee have kind
Yeah.
of put that up in the air right now. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like I said, it evolved into this. We figure we could get more out of this in less time, and
Yep.
we can put more out and be able to hop around to different people more so quicker. Um, and not only that, we can just shoot the shit like guys, and
Yeah. Exactly.
or even if it is a female that, which I
Yeah.
gotta work on getting some female artists. I'm not trying to be
Definitely. Yeah.
sexist and just say it's only males on here or whatever, but
Yeah.
I definitely will be venturing out on the list and looking into that more so.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I
Yeah.
love to be able to have these conversations, ask you these questions, and just be real
Hell
about
yeah.
it.
Yep.
But also be like, all right, we're just chilling, man. Don't feel like you got,
Exactly.
spotlight on you to the point that like, oh man, you can't breathe.
Yeah.
So some people choke under that pressure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not me. I'm just like, yeah, shine the light right here. I'll take all the
Yeah.
glory.
Yeah.
So, with your show that you're talking about doing with your girlfriend and all that, I know you said you don't have an exact, launch time on that or whatnot, but do you have like an area that you're
Yeah.
predicting, like springtime ish, summertime, or?
I would say probably by the end of the month, honestly.
Oh wow, okay, a
Um,
little bit quicker
yeah,
than
I would say by the end of the month, probably the first, at least the first or second, there'll at least be one or two episodes before the end of the month, I bet.
nice.
If not the beginning of next month at the latest. Yeah, so they're already kind of in the works. We already have an idea. We've been playing around with the setup and stuff of where we're gonna do things and how we're gonna approach it. Um, so yeah, I think it'll be real soon, honestly. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah, no, I gotta say you had a pretty solid poker face when you said it earlier. You kind of said it like, it's in the works. We might give it to you as an early Christmas gift. I don't know, friggin'. But no, yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah, we'll be dropping an
No,
episode here in a week or so.
it'll be soon. That's usually how I do things. It's like, yeah, we might drop something and then bam, it's out. Like,
It's,
I have a hard time being like, oh, I'm gonna release this 2 months from now. Like,
yeah,
that's too long. That's too much into the future.
yeah.
It's
Well,
just
no.
like get it out.
So I tell you what, like the one thing I will say when you schedule things out that far in advance,
Yeah.
um, it gives you a better view rating on how many people are tuning in to what's to come of yours and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It gives you a better projection of that and seeing who's actually looking forward to your stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Um, that's the
That
only
makes
thing.
sense.
That's the only thing I do like about scheduling things out further in advance.
Yeah.
Because I did that for like my Dirty 30 birthday party,
Yeah.
and I paid Graphic to DJ for that, and I had
Yeah.
Unique and Rigatoni and myself and Graphic all perform at that,
Yeah.
and I rented out a pool hall,
Yeah.
and I put out the invites at least 5 months in advance.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like I made sure
Yeah.
that like people had time to take time off of work, whatever they
Yeah.
had to do, and it was on a Sunday night. So
Oh
and,
yeah.
and it was ending at 11 o'clock. So
Gotcha.
it wasn't like it was too crazy. No, scratch that. I think it was even freaking earlier than that. I think it was like 10:30.
Oh
But
damn. Yeah.
but yeah, so it wasn't too crazy late, and it started at like 6 or something like that, and yeah, and it was a good time, and
Yeah.
it was freaking awesome. We had a good turnout. I must add close to 50, 55 people there.
Oh wow.
Um,
Oh
so it was a good turnout, and
yeah.
it was the first time I ever saw actual good stack of money being put in the tip jar, so to speak, for the
Yeah.
performers, and so yeah, that was cool.
Good.
But yeah, no, it definitely shows that like projecting out that far out in advance, though,
Yeah.
definitely made the turnout better because
Yeah.
people had time to plan for it. And
Yep.
then it also gave me a better idea of who actually gave a damn.
Yeah.
So, like, all right, it's not just, it was my birthday, but I also invited people that wouldn't necessarily care if it was my birthday. They would have been
I
there
got
more
you.
for the party.
Yep.
And once again, I want to see if I could turn heads. And I
Yep.
did.
Yeah.
And so it proved valid as far as planning that far out.
Yep.
So I definitely, if you can somehow in some way, I'd highly recommend it with one of your projects. Doesn't have to be all of
Yes.
them,
It will.
but try it with one of your projects.
Yes.
Drag out the
Drag it out.
suspense a little bit.
Yep.
You don't need to with me though. If you want to share it with me instantly, you
I
know how
got
to
you.
hit me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the VIP service. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, I plan on doing some better like release rollouts. That's something I've lacked, honestly. I didn't really follow that or doing EPKs, like electronic press kits. That's
Yep.
all new shit to me. That's on the table of shit to learn and navigate and learn my work because I just put out a lot and I don't really think about the output and how to just push it. I don't push that often. I put it out and there it is,
Yeah.
and then I'm on to the next thing. Like,
Well, that's the other thing too. Us at Beyond the Mic, you know, me and Lee, we're trying to figure out a better way to essentially start helping people push their post more.
yeah,
You know, depending on how much we are pushing it and how much we're going to push it and so on and so forth between our page and channel and Twitter and all this other stuff. We're
yeah,
trying to figure out like a package deal where we could actually work on maybe like small little price rates to
yep,
help do it, you know, and like actually take some of
definitely,
our time out of our way to make sure that we push it more for you guys. And
yep.
yeah, obviously,
I like that. Yeah,
want to make a little bit of, money to keep the, service going. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
well, we're just like I told Lee, I was like, I only want to start making, anything back to put back into Beyond the Mic to put back into other people.
yeah,
That's the whole objective. If we
yeah,
can get better,
exactly.
if we can get better equipment to give people better service, at the
Yep.
same cheap rate or whatever, why
Yeah,
wouldn't we?
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah,
so that's what we're trying to now achieve because up until this point, it's all been self-funded,
yeah, definitely.
everything that we've done, and even like you know aside from like various people, throwing us, a little bit of money here and there, helping them out with videos and stuff like that. Mostly everything we've done has been, I wouldn't say charity, but out of us just trying to help out.
Yeah.
And you know, I love doing that. I love being able to help out and do that. But there's only so much we can do until we have to start trying to put a price tag
Yeah.
on something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
at this point, I don't want to, I'm not here to rob no one of money because
Yeah.
no one here, nothing against none of us here in Maine, but if we're here and we're talking dirt with dirt, I guarantee you're not made of money.
Nope.
That's the point of the
Yeah.
show. We're the working
Exactly.
class men that have working fucking problems, and
Yeah.
this is reality here. We're not made of money, and so everyone's trying to do their part, and everyone's trying to find something that they're good at that they can make a little extra money on the side at. And Beyond the Mic is what me and Lee are good at.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. I just picked up my own press operation shit, so I can start
heck
making
yeah.
shirts,
Nice.
and I can do mugs and hats
Heck yeah.
and plates
Dope.
and beanies.
Oh yeah. That's what I gotta look into. Getting merch made, homemade merch.
Yeah.
That's my next venture.
we'll be able to start selling our own merch, and once I figure out cost efficiency of the ink, the transit paper and all that stuff. Once I figure that all in, I'll start putting out budgets for people as far as what I can offer them for services, as far as custom merch and stuff like that.
No. Nice.
So
that'll eventually
they'll eventually be Beyond the Mic services and all that stuff as well, and just trying to evolve with the times.
Yeah, hell yeah, you got to.
The irony is I went to school for the shit. I went to school for screen printing and all that stuff, and back when I graduated, it was a dying trade.
Yep. Yeah.
Now it's back in full flourish, but it's in independent work, not business wise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So here I am being an independent.
Yeah. Hell yeah. It works.
Right.
Yeah.
So What do you have any what are your hobbies that you kind of do on the side aside from like music and all that stuff?
Um, it used to be skateboarding. That was my whole life, skateboarding
Yeah.
constantly. Not so much anymore. I don't have a lot of time for that. It's work and then coming home and spending time with the kids. I like to read a lot. I watch a lot of shows, just digging in music, just being like artistic, just constantly like painting, drawing, anything like that. I'm constantly doing. When the weather's nice, I'm outside going for walks, taking drives, going out to the beach, stuff like that.
Nice.
Um, yeah, I'm pretty low key these days. I had my wild time back in the day, and now I'm going on 40 and just trying to keep it low key. And yeah,
I hear you, man.
yeah,
I'm going on this year. I'll be going on 32, and
yeah,
you know, 30s kind of was my changing point mentally and my goal.
yeah,
I said to myself when I turned 30 that I had to have, X, Y, and Z certain problems out of my life, and
yep,
I had to be at, certain point in my life, and so on and so forth.
yep,
And I didn't have no map of how I was going to get there.
yep,
And I just said, I know that this is what I need to do. And when I get there, I'll know it'll be time. And
yep.
I was fortunate. I quit smoking cigarettes. That was the worst of it by the end of it. And
That's huge. Yeah,
and I was able to quit that. Let's see, October 13th of this last October 13th was hitting a 3 year mark.
damn.
Uh,
Congrats, man.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I'm at that point now that's just like, I feel like anything that like I might have had any issue with is like so beyond me. No
Yeah.
pun intended would be on the mic, but
Yeah.
no, I just really do. I feel like it's just so beyond me now that like I could walk up to someone, they could offer it, and like the only thing that I would ever think about is the good old days when I had it,
Yep.
but still say no.
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh man, phew, man, I can tell you about a time with that, but no.
Exactly.
um, but yeah, so and that's okay. I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Exactly.
we had our fun.
Yeah.
We knew it was time to hang it up, so to speak, and
Exactly.
move on with our lives. And here we are. So
Yeah.
that's cool that some people aren't fortunate enough.
Yeah.
They don't know when to call it quits.
Yeah. For real. Honestly.
I've lost several friends, their lives to
Yeah.
that, and
Yep.
and I think that's another reason why I was so fortunate to stick to my goals was because I had examples of what happens if you don't stick to important goals like that.
Yep.
Not saying
Exactly.
that it's a life or death scenario with all your goals, but with ones that affect your health, they can be. Um,
Yeah. For sure.
so
Yeah.
definitely to anyone that's watching this, let that be a lesson to you. We're two living examples of what can be if you're wise and you shit up.
Exactly.
So get that stuff done. There ain't nothing wrong with your flower, and that's what I'm smoking right
No.
here. If
Yeah.
anyone's watching and wondering what the heck this is a, I'll give you a little close-up view of this. This is a fake wooden cigar pipe, and I feel like I can be like my Al Capone or whatever while I'm smoking on
That's
this
dope.
thing. And yeah, it's a straight shot chillum wooden pipe.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I smoke my flower in it.
Yep. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, I don't do it anymore. Especially now that it's legal and laws have changed and all that stuff. But back, not too long ago, I was very guilty of doing my burn cruises, and I know that probably some of us still are, and that to each his own. But trying to be safe and be a safe driver for me and everyone around me and all that stuff. So I've been trying to wisen up my ways. But
Yeah.
originally, when I bought this several years back, that's the reason why I bought it was because I wanted it to look like as natural as possible while I was driving.
Yep.
And
That makes sense. Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah.
I know that Dirt, he's always teaching us bad habits.
Yeah, I can't drive and smoke at the same time anymore. I get super paranoid. It's so weird. I could smoke like 30 minutes before driving and be fine, but
Well,
I
you
can't
know,
drive and smoke at the same time anymore. It's just
well,
not safe anyways. Like,
so, so I mean, like some of the things that I did when I first got my license, it is so frowned upon that like
yeah.
people be like, "What were you thinking?" You know, like driving with my knee, you know, trying to fucking pack one up, freaking,
Yep.
you know, like, and people was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I had the interior light on, sipping on my Coca Cola, you know."
Oh yeah.
What else were you doing? Oh, you know, I was making beats on my laptop, you know,
Yeah. Right.
on the phone with dispatch at my job, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, no, just some of the things that you know you do is just like, and you look back and you're like, the fact that I even made it to this point is nothing but pure luck.
Yep.
And
100%. Yeah.
you know, so I
Yeah.
guess I was one lucky son of a bitch. So I guess it's time to wise up.
Yes.
So yeah, no, that's cool, man. You have definitely made a legacy for yourself, no doubt.
Oh,
You
thank you.
you with everything you've done already in this short amount of time, you have definitely have stepped out into the spotlight.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you. Appreciate that.
like I said, when I stepped on scene, you know, even you were saying back in like 2018 and whatnot was when you started, you know, putting out the albums. Um, you know, I heard of Kid Calvin prior to that. You know, being out at Monday of the Mines and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And just, you know, once I saw you perform live, I was just like, yeah, no, the man, the name, everything fits,
Oh, shit.
everything fits, and that's cool because you can really connect when you see someone, you see their name, you see their style, and it all just
Yeah.
meshes together perfectly. You know, you're getting
Yeah.
an honest presentation of who that person is.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
and
Well, I appreciate that, man.
well, dude, it's hard to do that. A lot of people they can't. They have to separate it.
Yeah.
No, and I think you do it very well of staying true to who you are when you're on and off stage, and
Yeah.
you know, I try to do that. Maybe
Yeah.
sometimes clothing wise, I might get a little bit more flamboyant when I want to get on stage, but you know,
Oh, you know.
everyone
Yeah.
wants to doll up, and that's
You got
okay. I'm
to.
not knocking
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um, but aside from that, I try to stay as true as possible because I don't ever want any of my stuff to feel like it's in vain or like I feel like a fake or anything like that. And I that's like I
Yeah.
said, first thing I noticed with you, and you know, I think that's going to be what a lot of people, if they don't know that now, they do now.
Yeah.
But that's what they're going to know you for, is being true, one of the
Good.
truest to themselves while doing this. And
That
I
makes me
commend
happy.
I commend that very much so because like I said, it makes it so much easier, especially having this conversation with you.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you get nervous. Like I was a little nervous jumping into it with Seven Cores. I know I met him once or twice, but not very like had
Yeah.
a full fledged conversation with him. It was like, hey,
Right.
nice to meet you, man, or whatever. And you know, there was just pretty much that's about it.
Yeah,
One
exactly.
one or two words, and so it was one of those things. Like when we got in that conversation, I was like, well, I don't know how well he's going to take my jokes, or you know how well he's going to be, you know, chill with me,
Yeah.
you know, puffing right there on the spot. And I mean, shit,
Oh, yeah.
freaking with them, they seemed like, oh man, they would have been cool if I was giving an interview in fucking acid, you know. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
because they're that
no.
chill of people, not saying that they
Yeah.
do that, but I'm saying that they're that chill of people that just like, oh man, yeah, I would have taken any question in any position from you. You know, you could have been freaking
Yeah.
drooling on yourself, and we would have been just honored to be on your show.
Yeah.
No, just very, very graceful. Uh, But
Exactly.
but no, man, I really do appreciate you being on here.
Of course.
I'm happy that we took the time to do this.
For sure.
The biggest thing, though, that is the most important thing that they need to take out of this interview about you is where can they find you? Because they can't, if they can't find you, then there's no point in this interview. So where can they find Kid Calvin's music?
All right. I'm on all the streaming platforms under Kid Calvin, KID space CALVIN, just regular. But you can find more of my shit on Kid Calvin at bandcamp.com. Bandcamp is where you'll find 100% of my stuff, the stuff that will get taken down on SoundCloud because there might be a sample that never got cleared or whatever. But I'm on all of their streaming sites. There's just a few EPs you can't find on like Spotify or YouTube or iTunes and stuff like that. But Bandcamp, SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, I'm all over it. Kid Calvin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, you got it from here. This is Kid Calvin. He just gave you the 411 on the man behind the name, and we are happy to have him on here. No, good luck and safe travels with the rest of your journey with this, because I'm sure you're going to be going many more places with your music before you stop. So
I hope so. Thank you, man. I appreciate this. This was an honor. 100%.
Dude, definitely. The honor was all mine, man. Once again, I love meeting you guys and finally getting to really get to know you, because every time I got to introduce myself or have a brief conversation or whatever, it was always like, this is just too short and there's so much more I just need to know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Glad we could do this, man.
Definitely. And looking forward to hearing more of your stuff, man. So keep up the good work.
For sure. Thank you, man. I will.
We'll definitely be in touch soon, because I'll definitely be wanting to probably get on that collab bandwagon myself.
Yes. Please do, man. You know how to get a hold of me.
I definitely will, man. You take care, and thanks
you as well.
man. Have a good night.
No problem. Thank you. Peace. You too.